Three, two, one, and we should be live. Hi, everyone. This may look weird on your screen because my different software is there's a lot going on, but I'm here with Russell Wright. We're going to talk about the Masters tournament, the invitation-only tournament that's going to run in Spain this December. Why do they always pick December? Oh my god, it's mental. I've been invited so many times I've had to say no every single time. Fuck it. Anywho, you're going, Russell?
I'm going. Yeah, I got my invite and I accepted it graciously. There's there's 20 people at the event. I think there's around maybe 8 or 10 people in your situation who couldn't accept or
Yeah.
decided not to.
Yeah.
But as a result, they've got 20 pretty good players at this
And
event.
today we're going to talk about what we can see so far with the lists that are there so far. Not all the lists have been released yet. I'm not even sure when is the deadline for the list.
It has been moved
Right.
because of some one or two replacement players coming in.
Right.
But what I've managed to do is we won't release this video until all the lists are out anyway,
Yeah.
so it won't affect anyone. But we're going to do the video now on the lists that we have,
Yeah.
and then maybe we'll look at some of the others once the lists are out. We can see them.
Yes.
But we've got some of the major players, as it were,
Yeah.
to talk about. But hopefully we get the list very soon. All the players are sharing lists, so there won't be any shenanigans.
No.
If a list is suddenly changed, we will know.
Right. So let's start with just summarizing what it is that we're seeing, and hopefully the people at home can see that here on my screen. I know I haven't really made it very big for you guys at home, but hopefully you can still see what's going on. So Russell, talk us through what they're actually doing here. It's very much just pure V3, isn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. It really is following the meta, as it were. So it's a 1,250 point event.
Yeah.
There's a maximum of 4 platoons. You can only take a platoon type once, unless it's a rifle platoon. You have a maximum of 22 dice, and then there's no other restrictions other than that. So it's quite open.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the game time, you'll play 5 games, I believe it is, over 2 days. And I think it's 5, yeah, not 6. And then you have, they're going to use clocks. So chess clocks are in play, which is quite common in Spain, and I absolutely love.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that later, maybe. Time, so it's 75 minutes each to use your turns. And as noted, there's 20 players participating from places such as Germany, USA, UK, and obviously there's a big Spanish contingent.
Yeah.
So looking interesting.
Very much so. And today we're going to talk about the players and the lists. So we're going to jump back and forth here on my screen between Russell's comments and I'm going to comment on them as well, and what we sort of think about them and the lists themselves. And Russell, I think we should start with you yourself. So
Yeah, I guess
should I
that's
go
fair.
and grab your list first, and we can sort of talk about that first, and then we can.
Great idea. So while you're getting the list, so I'll let Bo grab that. I'll just say on my one, it seems only fair that we slag off my list first, seeing how I'm going to do it to other people. So I'm bringing a British list.
Yep,
There's
and I have
so
it up
far
here.
there's not many British lists there,
No,
so that's quite interesting. There's only a couple.
yeah,
And
but
what I've done,
that's more or less what we're seeing right now, right? That the British book, the armies of Great Britain, it is a competitive book, but it may not be at the same power level as Germany, or there are other books that have more options, at least in some respects.
maybe
Yeah,
I think there is also an element. It's a relatively new book.
yeah,
So there is the point of people are still working out how to use it.
yeah,
Second point is you may not have your models yet.
yeah,
So people might have an issue there with having, because you have to have the right models, of course.
yeah.
And then the third one is the current meta as we see is light tanks. And arguably Germany do that better than anyone
Yeah.
else. So it's maybe not a
Well, the
surprise.
British book has a lot of very
Mm.
interesting light tanks as well. For me, the infantry selection has always been severely limited here.
It's poor at the moment. I'd
Yeah,
agree with that. There's only
yeah,
about 9 options where the
yeah,
Germans have, I think, about 20.
yeah,
So it allows you a bit more flexibility. But look, I went British, so
yeah.
I clearly think there's something in it.
And I'm possibly going back to running Brits. So,
Well,
right.
you might find my list interesting or not then when I'm
Yes, I
doing it.
do, because it reflects many of the ideas that I have. So we have a platoon commander in experience with pistol. That's how I run my officers as well now. Home guard. I like home guard as well as a very cheap way of getting bodies on the table. And here Russell is running 5 with rifle, 4 unarmed, 1 shotgun, which means that the extra attacks that you can get from the British national rules can come from someone who has assault. Nice little bonus there.
Do you want to know why it's a shotgun and not an SMG, an officer?
Yes, please.
If it gives me the one extra rifle, if
Yeah.
you go with an SMG and the officer, you have to upgrade
Yeah.
the officer.
Yeah.
And I wanted 5 rifles firing and a shotgun.
Yeah.
So it's a small minor thing, but that's why it's there.
Right. And then we have an air landing squad. This is also something that I'm seeing a lot of people using because it's a 4-man unit
Oh
on
man,
regular, so it's very cheap. With an LMG, it's one of the ways that you get those backline holder units for
yeah.
like 10 points less than most armies pay for that unit. And military police section here. I'm running those as well in most of the British lists I'm building right now, but Russell is doing some very interesting shenanigans here. He's given them motorcycles. I don't have the models for that, but I am going to get them because that is a fun idea.
It's the way I built them is because there isn't a model for them that I'm
Yeah,
aware of them. There might
yeah,
be a 3D print somewhere, but
yeah,
I've got 4 US military police
yeah,
for Warlord, and on the bikes I've just modelled 4 British MPs that
yeah,
now go on the bikes.
yeah,
So that's how I did it.
yeah,
When we were talking about tactics when we finished the list, but I'll
yeah.
explain why.
Another air landing section without the
Yeah,
LMG. Possibly you didn't have the points for it.
yeah.
A Blacker Bombard for 40 points. I know you like to run those. I freaking hate them, but difference of opinion there. 2 light mortars, inexperienced, with extra men. Nice.
Yes, you have to plan with 3 men, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Although
know
we'll
you.
see other
I know you
players
think
don't agree with that.
that. um, and Matilda tanks. These have the HMG. They are very cheap, inexperienced as well. Command tank. But it's only an HMG. But that's one of the things that Russell does here. He has so many HMGs in this list. The light tank mark, whatever that is,
Mark
India
7,
pattern, yeah. Again, with an HMG and a coaxial MMG, so you can choose. Don't know
You're
why
not
you
gonna
would, but it's 70 points. That's very cheap for an HMG
It's
tank,
cheap.
isn't it? Long
Exactly.
range desert group, 2 armed trucks, again with HMGs. Notice this, it's double HMGs, so it's the front facing and a 360 HMG. Very, very cool. And a Valentine tank. This is a 9 plus slow tank, so it is, cumbersome, but it is 9 plus, and so it's fairly good armor, and it has a medium AT gun for 175 points. Yeah, it's an anchor piece. I like it. Engineers with officer pistol and engineers flamethrower, and a couple of flamethrower teams in white scout cars with HMGs, of course. Right.
Oh,
What's the thought process behind this list, Russell?
so it's a 20 dice list.
Yeah.
The maximum dice is 22, so it's not going to be outnumbered in any scenarios.
Mm.
I was expecting a lot of light tanks,
Mm.
so I want enough kit to kill them, which
Yeah.
is why I've got lots of HMGs.
Yeah.
Failing that, flamethrowers can be used to remove tanks, and then the Valentine with the medium anti-tank will just sit in the middle. Doesn't really need to move much, picking off
Ambush.
anything a bit
Yeah.
heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there should be enough weaponry there to deal with armor.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting a lot of armor. The second issue, though, if you do that, getting the bodies in your infantry units to remove enemy infantry can be difficult. 4 flamethrowers. Let me do that.
Yeah.
It's very obvious, they're going to go in the scout cars and where possible flank in.
Mm.
The new flank rule makes flanking better because I don't have to stick to that flank now. So if something's going wrong,
Yeah.
or there's a couple of tanks,
Can always move them to the other
ambush,
end. Yeah.
they just come in elsewhere. So
Yeah.
the other point on that is there's 5 missions to be played.
Mm.
They will be picked randomly from 20 missions.
Yeah.
Of those 20 missions, 15 of them allow flanking. 2 of them are flame of war. So it's only 3 missions with no flanking. And of those 3 missions with no flanking, it's envelopment, it's sectors, and it's a breakthrough mission. So basically they're movement missions anyway.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
what's not to like? So basically the list works, I think, quite well on all those missions. It wouldn't work so well if we had lots of pre-positioned bombardment missions.
Yeah.
Don't think we'll see that.
Yeah.
So it is slightly designed for the tournament, but actually, if you put me in a room and ask me to come up
it is
with a
fairly
British list,
versatile. Could go in most tournaments, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose the unusual elements. So what's different about it? Well, number one, I deliberately wanted a couple of armor 9 tanks because nobody's taking, well, very few people, I should say, are taking the weaponry to deal with them because we're just not seeing them.
No.
I think they might be the only armor 9 tanks at the game. I think there's maybe 1 more or 2 more. But we're not seeing them and people are not taking the kit to deal with them. So even like an inexperienced Matilda with a HMG, whatever, I can run it onto something and it will just sit there and it's unlikely to be moved. So that's the logic there. The LRGD Jeeps hopefully flank in. And for 75 points, they get Recce, they get 2 HMGs.
Yeah.
So if I can get behind,
and if you can get behind or very like point blank +2 to penetrate,
exactly.
That is going to be deadly with double HMGs, 6 shots. Yeah.
That is exactly right, and that's what they're all about. They're soft skin, so they're vulnerable, and there's almost no soft skin vehicles in this tournament that we've seen so far, other than these, because people know they're just death traps. But the way I use them is I almost don't care if I lose them.
Yeah,
they've got one job: go and get rid of an expensive tank, and if I lose you, it's unfortunate, but you know what?
Yeah, I got other stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what they're there for. Also, they're quite good at chopping up veteran infantry.
Yeah,
which sometimes armies can struggle with. So they're going to be useful for me and they give me range. And they also give me some AA. So if I run into an opponent with AA, that gives me 12 shots.
Yeah.
As it happens, as we'll see, AA has vanished from the tournament. And I can understand why, but we can discuss that. The other strange thing, I guess, on the list is the NPs, so military police. So they remove the -1 for vehicles coming on, so that's one reason they're useful. I've put my motorbikes because what I can then do is I can run them 24 inches. Yeah. And they count as infantry.
Which, by the way, as per the rule book, if you're playing something like envelopment, long edges, means that you can basically move them out in one go.
In theory, yeah. If you're taking it off the edge, you need to touch the edge.
Yeah.
I'm not certain I'm cheesy enough to do it, but certainly it's something you can do. And they've got Recce, of course, as well. Yeah. So once they're hard to move. So they are just a little mini infantry unit that can move around and suddenly appear somewhere.
Yeah.
Which will be really annoying for your opponent in certain circumstances.
They are extremely vulnerable, though, and cannot fight to save their lives. Basically, they are absolutely crap at everything, but they are so maneuverable.
Not to fight. They're not there to fight. They're a support unit for the vehicles, and their other job is they can suddenly appear and score in sector missions or movement missions, and it's very hard to stop them. If they come on with one of the last dice, it's unlikely your opponent can kill them, and you've now got a unit in place that also has Recce. So that's the logic. I don't think anyone else is running them. It's always fun to run something different as well.
Now, talking about the player himself, Russell, you write yourself that you have a strong record with a decent number of trophies, but poor record on day 2s when sober. I would disagree. Because last time you and I played, you had way too many beers and you still beat me. And that was in Madrid, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember I was kind of miscounting the points, and I was kind of aware I was miscounting the points, if I'm honest. But it didn't hurt that you thought I'd lost track.
Yeah.
I hadn't. As you realise at the end, I hadn't lost track.
Nah,
So,
not lost track enough, anyways.
yeah, and that was a great game. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Um,
So this again from you, for me, is also one of the things that I admire about you as a player is that you can shift gears and you quite often go anti what meta there is. You didn't write that, but that is my assessment of you as a player. That you have many different army types that you can play, which is a strength as a player, and you quite often go anti-meta and succeed with that, which is I think really cool. So yeah,
yeah, I like to think that I'm creating the new meta, right?
the new meta.
And then once we've done that, we'll move on. So
Right. Let's move on to the
you
next
know,
player, which is Gary Morgan. Oh my God. Gary Joe Biden Morgan. What the hell? What am I showing people here?
yeah, he's
Anywho, he's the Welsh
it's
master. He's
super.
a British national champion. He's been playing bold action since forever. He knows his stuff. He definitely knows his stuff. And let me see if I can find his list for us. So I'll go back here and here we go. It's somewhere in our
And
conversation here.
while you
Gary
find it, it's a classic Gary Morgan list. It's German.
Yeah.
It's 15 dice. He's gone with small veteran experience infantry sections, and they are backing up tanks that all have specific jobs to do.
Yeah.
So that's what he's up to.
So he has an infantry platoon with an officer with extra men. They're regulars. He has Spartruppen, 4-man rifles, infiltration stuff. He has the Feldjäger Corps because they're dirt cheap with Panzerfaust.
He's actually gone veteran on that.
He's actually gone veteran, yeah. Sure. With Faust
Yeah.
and SMG. Okay.
So
Which
he's
means
using
that
it.
he's possibly using them for a different purpose than I thought here. Fallschirmjägers with LMG, 5-man veteran backline holders, 2 of those very solid backline holders. A recce platoon with an officer and an extra dude. Fallschirmjäger squad, 5 men, SMGs, 3 SMGs, 2 Panzerfaust. Wow. It's a lot of Fausts going into a 250/1 half track to transport them all up to where they need to go and kill stuff. And an artillery platoon, 2 heavy autocannons and a Nebelwerfer, backed up by a Kugelblitz Death Star and 2 Darker Panzer 3s. Wow, 15 points, Gary. Ooh, yeah. So the Feldjägers are there to bring on the armor, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
The interesting thing with the list is, okay, it's slightly short on dice, arguably. Although I think you'd probably say it's Goldilocks at 15.
Yeah,
just about. Just about.
more or less. I mean, 15 to 18 for me is the Goldilocks zone for 1250. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's squeezed in, say, an artillery platoon just so he can get one Nebelwerfer, which we're starting to see a couple of people do.
Yeah.
To break up opponents' back lines,
Yeah.
which is it's effectively the only weapon that can hit a target that's hidden behind line of sight.
Yeah.
In certain circumstances, so there is a logic to doing it. It stops you hiding, which is clever because he wants you to bring stuff out into the open,
Yeah.
so you can shoot it with one of those heavy autocannons. So there's a good logical build to the list. So he's going to really try and open up on you. He's played this list a lot as well, and in my experience, Gary is very good at the lists he plays. Sometimes it goes slightly wrong for him when he tries something new or he hasn't practiced it enough. But when he knows his list, he's very good, and he's experienced. He knows how to get wins. He knows how to control the game when he needs to. He's only got 4 vehicles though. That's lowish. The infantry units are small, but he will use them very well.
Yeah. I think where he goes low is that he only has 3 vehicles that are fighting vehicles. The 4th one is a transport. So what I'm seeing in most meta lists right now is that they have 4 to 5 fighting vehicles.
Yes, definitely.
And that's the main difference from what I'm seeing most other people do here. But of course, once you go Kugel Blitz, that's expensive, right? It is an expensive tank, or expensive-ish compared to other stuff. So you're going to have to cut corners somewhere. But again, it's an anchor piece, like your heavy 9+ tank as well. It's an anchor piece where he can sort of put it down, and it will shoot up most things that he's likely to face.
The risk, I think the risk to it, he'll obviously put an officer behind it because he's got 3 officers
Yes.
to use. And that's another thing. He's got 15 dice. 3 of them are officers,
Yeah.
which is why one of the officer teams is a small team
Yeah.
with men and rifles, because he needs to use it as a unit, or otherwise he's only got 12.
Yeah.
So anyone who's got longer range weapons is going to be able to pin that Kugel Blitz.
Yeah.
That's one issue. I think he's got the list. The relatively low number of dice, given we're playing with chess clocks, does help him. It takes a little bit of pressure off of him every round in terms of the net amount of orders he has to issue. And it's possible he's considered that in building the list. But it's a strong list. It's a classic Gary list. He will know what to do with it.
Right. And then, and as you said, Gary as a player is a very strong player. Just because of the amount of experience that he brings to the table. Then we have Richard Suresco, who also have been British national champion. He has a very solid. He's the current champion as well, right?
I think so.
He has a very solid record of ending up in the top 3, top 5 at most tournaments he goes to. He is a professional bolt action player, close to as a professional as you get, more or less. He knows his stuff. He goes to so many tournaments. And let me go and see if I can bring up his list for us.
And while you do that, just to say the list here again, just like Gary, is German, 15 dice. His tank platoon's even heavier. He spent 670 of his total points.
Wow.
On his tanks. So he's very much embraced the idea that we're all playing tank wars.
Yeah. So here we have Richard's list. And he is bringing 15 order dice again, 1250. He has the inexperienced platoon commander with a pistol. He has the Fallschirmjägers, 4 rifles, 1 LMG. He has the Feldgendarmerie. This is the inexperienced squad, but with 4 SMGs in it. Right? He has a Spartruppen with a single SMG. He has, and notice he takes them as Fallschirmjäger, just for the people at home. A lot of people are doing Gebirgsjägers for their infiltration, which I sort of like, but it is double movement ability on, so having them be stubborn makes it a little less likely to run away. And then the armored platoon, he has 1, 2, 3... 3 Panzer IIIs? No, 4 Panzer IIIs. Wow.
But 3 are Panzer 3Ds, and one of them is a Panzer G.
Yeah.
Which means he's got the medium anti-tank gun.
Yeah. So
they've got different jobs.
Yeah. So the command vehicle gets the medium AT gun, and the rest gets all the dark machine guns here. And a Panzer 1 with a twin German machine gun as well to just boost everything out. Another rifle platoon with the platoon commander again. He brings another Fallschirmjäger backline holder, 2 of those, so that's 3 backline holders, and a Begleit Stug escort infantry with 5 submachine guns and artillery schleppers to bring them up. These are 7+ armored carriers, 33 points. Inexperienced. They're not very good, but they are a cheapish armored vehicle to bring up infantry that needs to go up.
I think often they get used for the officer. So the officer sits in it, comes up, it's a tiny little model, and the officer's just there so he can snap to action the tanks.
Yeah. Now, Richard has got to be someone to reckon with every time you face him across a table, right? And this German list is very, very good. It's not a casino list, as I would term some of the multi-rocket launcher lists. It's a list that knows what it wants to do. My main concern with it is that it's low order dice count, and the infantry is all of it small infantry sections, right? and if they have to push up into center table, can they survive there? Maybe, maybe not. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. He's very good on combined arms though, so he will use the infantry with the tanks.
Yeah.
And when there's 5 of them, they're small enough, he will actually even end up using the tanks as his cover. So it's a nice combination approach. The tanks will push forward. He's not worried about losing a couple because he understands the nature of them is you have to use them.
Yeah.
Some people sometimes buy tanks and then don't want to use them because they're like, oh, I can't lose the unit.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is the wrong mentality.
Yeah.
He knows the rules very well. So he also understands how to manage cover and how not to get cover. And so he would do that really well.
Yeah.
And he's good on timing. So he will play the game he needs to play. I think he'll be fine on the chess clock, even if he's not regularly using them.
Yeah.
I agree on the small sections and the low dice count, maybe. He's got 0 flak, but that's going to be a non-issue at this tournament, we think, from what we're seeing.
So far, 0 air power lists.
Yeah, and also no indirect fire, which a lot of people are doing at the moment. It's quite interesting.
Yep.
So he's made some choices there. He can fire at you from long range.
But no zeroing in,
And he's had a very good year and a half playing V3. He's done a great job of avoiding me as well at times. So I haven't had a chance to get him.
Right. Then let's move on to Michael Garrick. Now, Michael did very, very well at World Open War, and I guess that's one of the reasons that he got invited to this tournament as well. Because Michael has not been one of the people that has been on my radar as a top 10, top 20 in the world, but he has really had a year, hasn't he?
He suddenly, he started playing higher level tournaments really well.
Yeah.
I guess about a year ago, and since V3's come in, he's definitely one of those names you're now seeing regularly.
Yeah.
Up on very high positions. I think he came. He was certainly very high at the recent Warfare tournament. As well. So it's a player who's really coming through, and he's winning games against well-known players, and playing his own style, which we can mention here. I think this might be unfair on him, but at the moment I think he's slightly more of a mono player. So he's still playing a list that works really well for him. But
I can empathize with that. I am a mono player myself. And I really like his list because it's one of those that I have been working with in V3. It's a Hungarian one. And he played that at World Open War as well, if I remember correctly. He played this Hungarian list, more or less the same.
That's right. I played against it at the GT, the BritCon GT. And oh my God, that was hard work to try and get a result. And I wasn't able to, but it was a great game. Really enjoyed it.
And the thing that makes this work, right, for the people at home, is the roving patrols, which means that you have to face him head on. You can't go in outflank. So you have to drive straight into heavy autocannons. 15 auto dice. Company commander, so he can snap to everything that he needs to go. Civilian car, you could put the officer in that. I wouldn't do it, but I think Michael does. And then some infantry, and this infantry is also interesting. He brings a 3-man unit of regular officer here, so SMGs on those. He has a paratrooper / gendarmerie. I didn't know that was a thing, but they're veterans, 7 men. There's a pistol in there to be the loader for the LMG, I guess, and 5 rifles. And then that LMG is very nice. It's a very survivable unit, isn't it?
Yeah, he's deliberately going 6+ on the men for the detecting from
next infantry section has exactly the same 6+. This is a 7-man unit, single SMG, 1 Faust, and they are mountain troops, which means they have fieldcraft. He brings useful. 2 of those, very decent units in my estimation, very, very decent, because they can sit and wait and then late game move on to objectives, or you can rush them first turn and be on the objectives early if you need to.
the other thing you can do with them with this list is you can put them down your flanks.
Yeah.
Because you know your opponent can't come in around the side or behind them.
Yep.
So it makes it a lot easier for you to potentially risk isolating those units.
Yep.
Because the flank's not coming in. So
or you could even put them in outflank because again you know where the enemy is going to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think he'll do well. I think he's going to do well.
Yeah.
Because great list, and he definitely knows how to use it. He's chopped it down to 3 Nimrods. When I faced it, it was 5.
Yeah.
And he's done that to allow himself a couple more flexible options.
Yeah. So he brings an AT rifle veteran, 3 Nimrods, as we talked about. Regular Nimrods, they are dirt cheap for what they bring. They bring armored heavy autocannons. Yeah, they are 7+ and open topped, and they die like, I lost 5 of them at World Open War to light mortars, but they are heavy autocannons, very dangerous to vehicles, and a Darker Panzer III, which I think is a great addition to this list. He also brings a CV-35 with the double medium machine guns. And then a couple more infantry units, again, veterans, good, solid veteran infantry here to push up. That brings him, what's that, 6 or 7 infantry units?
Yeah, about that.
Which is really, really decent. So, decent armor, decent infantry. Again, no indirect fire.
Yeah, another player who doesn't like mortars or any of that.
Yep.
But his army's quite mobile.
Yeah.
So he hasn't got any pieces that potentially could get hit constantly. He should be able to move. So maybe trying to deal with something that's sitting there and just firing at you from an artillery perspective or mortar perspective is less of an issue for him.
Yeah.
Because he'll just move. Just hope you get lucky with your 6s firing at the enemy. When you do hit them, it's horrible.
Yeah. But as you state here, the strength of this is it has tough infantry units that can go and push and has clear design roles. There's plenty of armor. There's plenty of ranged. But the armor is glass cannony. The Nimrods are vulnerable to being killed. He's going to lose them. But the inclusion of a Panzer III is, for me, a great inclusion in this list. It gives him something else to work with, which I really like.
I think it's important when you look at the list he's playing against. So I think it's a great list. I think it may be up against it a bit when we look at some of the other lists he's facing. But
maybe.
But he plays it all the time, so he knows what he's doing with it.
Let's move on to Ben Andrews. Now, Ben has been playing Japanese forever. And he has been one of those players who's been doing well with Japanese. Very unusual, that. And has been running loads of infantry. Again, very unusual. So I will pick up Ben's list where you can sort of talk about him as a player.
Yeah, sure. So he has also played the Armour 10 tanks at a couple of tournaments that are spoilers because someone will run into him and lose a tournament because I had to play him. That happened to Gary Morgan a year ago. And he's clearly having immense fun with the list he runs. And again, he's looking to go, he's not particularly interested in meta other than can I counter it?
Yeah.
And I know he's been working on the Japanese for some time to try and really get them to work. I'm still not convinced by them, but we get a book in January, so things will change.
Yeah.
What he's doing is he's fielding lots of veteran fanatic infantry sections that have SMGs, so they do have some tough fighter as much as he can get. That's why he's taking the Paras and not just vet infantry, so he can get those.
And he's running 18 order dice, by the way, which is high. I have the list up now, Russell.
It's not as high as some Japanese lists could be, but that's because he's going vet infantry.
Yeah.
The other thing he's doing, he's not maxing out the infantry sections because he's, I think, very cleverly realised most players have taken 5 or 6 infantry units.
Yeah.
So if you've got 8, that's enough that you're going to win the combat.
Plenty.
And so I think that's clever.
And also he is running more men in his officer sections. So they become extra little infantry units, veterans with SMGs.
Yes. Yeah, because you can pack them out with the SMGs and cause problems.
Yeah.
He's then, and then if you look at the infantry sections, both they're all the same. They're all the same
Yep.
loadout.
7 men, 4 rifles, 3 submachine guns,
Yeah,
paratroopers. I mean, yeah, very, very decent.
yeah,
103 points per pop. That is a good unit for 103 points because they do
yeah.
have fanatic. They're very difficult to get rid of.
And there's 7 of them. It's a good number.
Yeah.
It's the right number, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
The other thing he's then done there as well is he's got his light tanks, which are the Type 92s with the heavy machine guns. That's all he's got, really. Japanese tanks are, as we all know, not great. But they're all the same unit. So I think what that does for him is, especially with a chess clock, he doesn't have to overthink the intricacies of what they do. They all do a certain job, and he can play that out. So I think it's clever in the sense of it'll make it easier for him to game manage.
Yeah.
The issue, I think he might be able to overwhelm certain armies where they just can't cope with him pushing forward on them. I'd love to see that. He's even taken a transport. So he's got an option. I would say that's an option for a
Soda carrier,
so
which is a 13-man transport. So a lot of dudes. Yep.
In certain missions, that's going to get run on turn 5, I think.
I think he'll stuff it full of suicide bombers and light mortars and an officer and just run it.
Exactly, it's a good option to have. I'm a bit nervous of running it. I do run it occasionally, but it's risky. So it depends on the opponent. But he's got that option.
Yeah.
His issue is going to be killing tanks because he's got the heavy machine guns.
Yes.
Great, but then that's it. Really.
Yeah. He has 3 suicide bombers, but sorry guys at home, the suicide bomber doesn't really work in V3. It gets killed before it makes contact. I have yet to see a single kill by a suicide bomber. I know it happens.
I've done a few, but it takes
it's so
a lot
rare.
of setting up.
Yeah.
You normally have to sacrifice 1 unit to even get the chance to do it. And with the greatest respect to my opponents, if you're losing a tank to a suicide bomber, you've probably done something very bad.
Yeah.
Or very wrong. So they're not great at all.
No, they're not.
But for 14 points, you can dump them in a clown car.
You could, yes, and it's a cheap way of getting a lot of order dice in a clown car across the table and into the scoring zone.
Yeah, and they can infiltrate. So in certain missions, if you want to get them off the table or something quickly, it is doable, but it's risky.
So dealing with all this armor is going to be interesting. I would love to talk to Ben after this and just hear his take on this, how he felt that it went, because he is going to deal with a lot of armor here, and we shall see. Then we have Paul Wickens. Paul Wickens is also one of those players who regularly goes top table, but he's also a player that quite often shifts his list and does something weird. I've seen Paul go and bring, 5 Katyushas to a tournament in Denmark at one point. And none of them could hit anything, and then you lose the tournament. So he's quite willing to take huge chances, which is nice.
He tries things out. Yeah, I've played against him when he had 3 British artillery observers, and so he's very willing to do that. He's brought here it's another German list.
Yes. Do we sense a theme here? Do we sense a theme of Germany being the go-to competitive book right now?
You might see even more of that.
but 18 order dice. With officer, with extra man. He's got the Spartruppen. Everyone brings that. He's got the Felsendamm's because traffic direction is really good with tanks. There's an AT rifle. There are the obligatory darker tanks here with that's the Panzer 3s, Gs, 2 of those. He's got 2 Panzer 1s as well, so with the double machine guns, very cheap. That's 4 Panzers, although the 2 of them are, maybe not that great. And then an artillery platoon with a Nebelwerfer, double Nebelwerfer actually. Nice. So he does bring a little of that multi-rocket launcher lotto. Pioneers, love the pioneers as well for the Germans.
Have you
And this,
seen what have you seen what he's done with one of them?
yes, one of them only has an LMG.
Only,
Why? Because he wants the Eintos Flammenwerfers. He doesn't really want the engineers necessarily.
that's right.
He wants the Flammenwerfers, which he brings all that he can, of course, and then a couple of transports here.
So he's engineered platoon. He wants flamethrowers, but he wants the Eintos Flammenwerfer because it's much better for points. It is a fire and forget weapon, but those 2 hits will hit 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Because you have to get a 3 on one of them, so at least 1 hit is 90% of the time.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to use. The one on the Pioneer team, not so great. So, and he used one of those Pioneer teams as a backline holder.
Yeah.
And just load up the vehicles with as many flamethrowers as you can. That's a real kind of Schwerpunkt, like iron fist punch in the face that you can throw at you.
Yeah.
The risk with them,
if he fails,
well, he won't fail. He's definitely going to kill something or hit something. But that's where if you've got reserves, as it were, you've got forces supporting each other, you get to kill him all next turn. So you do get the revenge attack next turn. Oh, look, there's a load of guys there unarmed. I want to kill them.
Yeah.
So that's one way. Just accept you've got to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And just get ready for afterwards.
It will work really well for him in some missions, by the way, as well, because he has double Nebelwerfers. So if the enemy bunches up, if we have prepared positions, the enemy bunches up, then he'll bombard them. If they don't bunch up, he will hit 1 point of your army with all of his, because he is very, very mobile with his tanks and his engineers here.
And he would have built that with that in mind, because he would have looked at the missions. He does as much prep as anyone I know, other than you, obviously, Bud. So he would have actually been thinking a lot about that, I bet, and picking lists based on that. So yeah, I think he'd do well. The issue, Paul Wise does really, really well. And then he tends to have that one bad matchup, which is the nature of his lists. Because of the lists he's building, he will run into someone who's like scissors, paper, stone, and he will lose one game where you're like, oh wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And that means that's why he's not won so many tournaments of late, but his win rate is really, really, really high.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go to Johnny Curran. Now, Johnny has also been one of those players. He plays with the Tabletop Tommies, by the way. He's been one of those players that has been a little bit in the bold action media lately, because he came up with, well, he didn't invent it. Michael C. in Denmark has been running this forever, but he has started using all infiltration Soviet armies. And he's sort of trying to transition from the before the armies of Soviet Union into after armies of Soviet Union with that army list, which, may pay off or may be a really bad idea. We shall see.
One of the things I love about Ronnie, he doesn't play. I think this is true. He doesn't play to win. He's not building armies because he thinks this is the ultimate way of winning.
Yep.
He plays armies that he enjoys playing, and what he enjoys doing is throwing lots of units into your face, and then kind of laughing and chatting and enjoying it. So his play style has always been that. And where before he was using Americans in jeeps with flamethrowers, he's now switched to this because he enjoys playing it.
Yeah.
And he plays it really well. You're right in what you said. I think the recent Soviet book has nerfed his list a bit. And you can see he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to see if I can still make it work.
Yeah.
And he did incredibly well at BritCon with it. I think he won all his games. Yeah. So he definitely knows what he's doing with it, and he has fun playing it. And it's a completely different challenge. This is the only list so far that we've got where there's no tanks.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's a genuine
it's like way out. And the problem for me here is he has no way of dealing with tanks. He just ignores that part of the game more or less completely. The only thing he can do, because his list is it's all scouts and tank hunters, right? He takes 4 rifle platoons, 1 tank hunter in each with 4 men. So he can charge tanks. That's 8 dice that you can charge with, but it's not a great option to take out tanks, right? It's not absolutely great. And
Well, you say that though, but
on
there are
average, it's a 4+ if the tank hasn't moved. If the tank hasn't moved.
agreed. So you hit on 4+, you have to add that to your dice roll.
Yeah.
But if you're open topped, and a lot of armored vehicles are now,
Yeah, then you're dead.
You
Yeah.
are dead 100%.
Yeah.
There's no roll for damage
No,
or
no.
you're dead. You're gone.
You're dead.
So there is that. The Hungarian list, I think, would look at this and think, he's just going
I'm
to
in
run them all
trouble.
at me.
Yeah.
He's just going to run them all at me and just keep running them at me.
Yeah.
So there is that. It was better when you could infiltrate so
Yeah.
much more because you are potentially not within 12, but not far off being within 12 early. So your opponent, and you've got 20 dice, your opponent's sort of worried about that.
Yeah.
The sections are all tough. So it's different. People are not used to playing it, and I think they panic sometimes.
Yeah.
Johnny did very, very well against the Spanish. He was beating Spanish players, like for fun.
Yeah.
And I think he scared them a bit. And I'm not gonna say that they changed their pack because of Johnny, but let's just say their pack includes a rule: you're not allowed to put your infiltrators within 12 of your opponent's deployment line.
Yeah.
So I think the reason for that is so he can't line them up and block you coming in, line blocking.
Yeah.
But I do think there might be a little bit of fear there, So it's a shame.
Fair's fair.
That,
I think basically I think that you shouldn't be able to put your infantry infiltrators within 12 inches of the opponent's back line.
Now I agree with that, but with one caveat.
Yeah.
The Soviet armies, the Soviet Union book has fixed that because you can only take one.
The problem isn't really there anymore.
Yes, exactly.
To a large extent, anyway. Yeah.
So it's slightly, he's been properly hit with a hammer.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And then hit a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is for the people at home. Just think about this. It is 8 infiltrating units. 4 of them are chargers that go after tanks. The rest of them have SMGs, have a couple of rifles, can sit there and shoot at you against infantry. And then he has a bunch of infantry that sits on his front line of his deployment zone that then moves turn 1. He is all the way up, and it's all about ball control, right?
Yeah, and they will do something. He hasn't got a single unit that isn't active in the game. And so although it's like you look at the dice count, actually you can make an argument he's got a higher dice count than opponents because all of his units will be doing something.
Yep.
Which is not true of a lot.
He has 20 active units. All of them can do stuff.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's just brilliant to see lists like that.
I still think he'll struggle against all those Daka Panzers though, but
I think he would terrify people, and you know what? I think. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think he's going to do better than maybe we think. We have to do a ranking later.
We have to. Yeah.
We can do that. But we still got a couple more players to look at today. We've got a couple of Spanish players, 3 Spanish players to look at if we've got time, and then one American player.
We have Jano, who is maybe the player in the Spanish team that's most underrated.
Yes.
He has a very excellent record. He has a broad selection of army types that he plays. He is their toolbox player, in my estimation, of the Spanish
that's
team.
That's the way to describe him.
Right? He's the Swiss army knife that can do whatever they need him to do. Do it well every single time. So, let's go and check out what he's bringing then, shall we?
And while you do that, I know he's brought British, so it's one of the other British lists so far. There's only a couple of us.
Whoa.
He's on 20 dice, the same
20
as me.
order dice, yeah.
But the build of his list is different, which is great because it shows you can do different things with the same kind of structures.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 rifle platoons. Unlike me, he's gone more veteran infantry, so they're survivable.
Yeah.
He's got some regulars in there as well.
And it's still using airborne sections, so air landings as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got an armor platoon in there, which we'll have a look. It's very small. It's the smallest armor platoon in the tournament.
Yeah.
And he's using artillery. So there's a different build to this list. Lots of MSU infantry, say, which you can. I don't know if you've got the list up there yet, though.
I
But,
have, but it's
okay.
very difficult to see because we only have
Oh, okay.
images of this list.
Well, we can
Right.
always switch to the summary if you want.
Yeah,
But
but
yes,
it's fine. It is an MSU list, but it's mechanized, so he has both a Stuart Kangaroo and White Scout car.
yeah,
So he does have different
both
options. Yeah,
yeah, and he's going to put Piats inside them. I think he's got
Piats
some
as well.
Piats.
Yeah, and he has a bunch of different. Like he has the Home Guard. He brings the boys anti-tank rifle as well. So it's a bunch of different options. And my main worry is he only has 2 tanks. So 2
Yeah.
Locust light tanks, which are not the strongest options. So my initial reaction was that when I saw this list, that this is a list that might actually struggle to deal. But then he has this amazing artillery platoon with 2 Bofors, heavy autocannons, and a couple of 25-pounders, which is not bad at all.
Yeah, but well, if you are going to take artillery, they're good choices. But
Yeah.
are you going to take artillery? That's what's going to be interesting here, because I think what we're seeing currently is artillery is just not really worth doing, because the fact he can't move is a killer in version 3, particularly with the missions we've got.
Yeah.
So I suspect he will put those on the flanks to stop anyone flanking in behind him.
Yeah. And try to take
push.
people head on. Yeah.
Yeah, but it also means he can control the flanking. He can flank and you can't, because if you come on, you get an ambush shot. Yeah, that's possibly one of the angles there. It's quite killable. I think his list is quite fragile. It's quite like finicky to play.
Yeah,
It'd be difficult to manage.
Yeah.
He's got no real Death Star. He's got nothing there that he can put on the table and go, this will survive. Everything on his list it will die with any kind of attention.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the easiest list to play, but it's not.
It's a list that might struggle anyway in kill point missions, right? Because 20 order dice is high, and most of it is in killable units. I suggest that he's going to try and hide a lot of it, and bring a lot of it in from outflank. I think that's his main strategy with this, but we shall see how he plays it.
Has he got the MPs? I can't.
No,
I
he
can't
hasn't.
see the list, so.
No, he has no MPs. But that doesn't matter because he hasn't really got any armor to bring in anyway. So.
Well, he's got the infantry in the.
Yeah, but the infantry only has traffic direction, so that only works for armor and not for infantry.
No, sorry. I mean, he's got the scout car and the.
Oh, that's right. So he could use it there, but no. Anywho, and then we have Achilles, who is, in many's estimation, possibly one of the best players in the world.
I would say that.
He's certainly the Spanish team champion and a regular national champion for Spain as well. So he's one of those players that you really have to figure that he knows what he's doing. And I'll bring up his list as well. Here we go.
So he's gone German again.
Yes,
which he does quite a lot, but is the meta anyway.
Yeah.
The one thing Achilles tends to do is he doesn't follow the meta. He just picks what he wants.
Yeah.
And quite often people laugh. Well, a laugh is too strong, but certainly sometimes people look at his lists and say, "You've got to be kidding."
Yeah.
That
is a mistake
now, I think, than it used to be.
Yeah.
And he always knows exactly what he wants to do with a list. It's perfect. He was the first person to start taking Panzerlux.
Yeah.
As I recall, and everyone was like, "Why are you bothering?" And we now know, they're pretty good.
Yeah, very, very good, especially good in V3. But so he has 19 order dice. He has a sizable infantry officer with a bunch of different stuff, including 1 pistol and 3 submachine guns and a rifle. So again, this is very Achilles. He knows what he wants. He brings the individual bits, the bricks that he wants in each of his units. We have Fallschirmjägers here. We have 2 of those, but one of them is with submachine guns. One of them is backline holder with light machine gun here. Another Fallschirmjäger with light machine gun, and another with submachine gun. So 2 units he can throw up. 2 units he can hold back. Company commander to have everything snapped to.
So he can snap
Brilliant. 80 rifle, 2 light mortars, inexperienced, 2-man teams as you should. A couple of transports, a Hanomag and a Slepper. a Panzer III Darker version, a Panzer II. Love the Panzer IIs now. The looks is just so good. A 17R, which is basically just a cheap machine gun, 35 points, armored.
Yeah.
And a Steyr armored car, which has machine guns and a light autocannon. He brings an artillery platoon, and I think this is the way that I'm seeing most artillery platoons work right now. This is a couple of flak guns and a Nebelwerfer.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very Achilles list. I think I could look at this list and just say this is Achilles wrote this just without knowing who wrote it. Yeah,
I agree with that. People are starting to adopt some elements of it. But actually, the mix of tanks and the mix of units is classic Achilles.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
And you could give him Norwegians, and he's still going to be.
He would still do well. Yeah.
So he will be practicing probably as we speak. He's practicing somewhere.
Yeah.
With a list. So yeah, beware.
And the thing with Achilles is, he may not take the most optimized for you guys at home. It's not a list where you can copy it and then go out and play and do well. It's the amount of games that he plays. He plays so many games so regularly and beats Class A opponents on a regular basis. And that is why he's good, right? It's not something where we can copy what are they thinking, what are they doing. I get a lot of questions about that. Meta is overrated. And I know I do a lot of list reviews on my channel, but it's just not something that... It's not where it's at. It's the continual sharpening of the mind by beating other players that are really good, and that's what he does. 19 order dice is also a high order dice count, isn't it?
It's a good number.
Yeah.
And the only thing with it, it's lacking a little bit of anti-tank bite, arguably. It is.
Yeah.
Those infantry sections, they're good, but they're small. But others have done that.
Yeah.
I wonder. I would love to see Johnny Cullen play against this.
Ooh.
I think that would
be a proper fight, wouldn't it? Yeah,
because they're quite different in approach and style as well.
Yeah,
So if I don't want to say he's got reverence, but in Spain when people play him, they know him, and it's like whoa. And I think sometimes, I'm not going to say he's won the game already, but his reputation is such, and let me be clear, I do think he's the best player in the world. But people know that. And I think there's sometimes almost people who kind of immediately feel like they've already lost. So almost like that, you're not allowed to beat him in Spain, let's put it that way. and so there is a reverence. And let's see against this field how he gets on.
It doesn't really carry across to nations. I've yet to lose to Achilles, actually. I haven't lost to him. Yeah, I did once in a home game. I lost to him once in a home game. Yeah, true. Anywho, but he is absolutely, in my estimation, he should be in top 3 in the world, definitely, on any given day.
And the next player maybe would be top 3 as well.
Yeah, I think so. Which is Manuel. So the former German captain, who is now the captain of Spain 2, and who brought his team to World Open War and actually took some medals home.
It's incredible. He took a Spain 2 team and he came second overall with them.
It's wild. Wow. It's wild. It was so cool.
Just a shout out to Granicus, who's at the tournament as well. He was in that team, as was Nacho, who's also at this event. So they did have 2 other good players.
Solid players.
But Manuel is clearly the man there. No offense.
And this is, again, a classic Manuel list. Manuel. Again, I could see this list and just know that he had made this. Company commander, 4 men, inexperienced, rifles, all of them, just to have a little bit of extra fluff he can take off. Officer, inexperienced, 2 man. Feldgendarmerie with pistols, 5-man unit. He brings them sort of cheap-ish, but there's a couple of rifles. And then Strafbats, regular Strafbat.
They're regulars,
because he wants the Feldgendarmerie to sit there in his octopus formation and make these go without the test. And so even if he has to take the test, he has a 4+ from the company commander.
Yes. Yes, it's a
It's
very
brilliant.
good, clever
I
build.
love it. These become very dangerous units, and they're very, very cheap. And he
Yeah.
brings one, two, three. I'm thinking more. Four, I think. And then an RSO with the heavy AT gun, so he
Yes.
has that anti-tank gun to take out whatever he needs to take out. The Panzersparwagen,
Yes.
I've never understood it. Has run it multiple times. I don't get it, but he likes it. It has a light AT gun. The Steyr, we've seen that before. He brings two of those. I understand those though. They are nice, and they have recce and dual directional steering and all that jazz.
Which is great when they fail order tests.
Yes, off the table they go.
Maybe that's why they're not inexperienced, because he
Yeah.
normally likes
And
inexperienced
then
tanks as well.
Pioneer Squad, and again we see someone just take the Pioneers as cheap as they go, inexperienced. 5
Yeah,
rifles, no
I didn't even know you
flamethrowers.
could do that.
Their attacks, because the Eintos is where it's at.
Exactly, and that's what he wants to
Yeah,
access.
yeah.
And then a couple of Nebelwerfers at the back,
And a
just to
couple
break
of
you up.
Niffelwerfers
Yeah.
to hold the line, and a couple of artillery slepper to tow whatever Eintos they need to throw at the enemy. That is brilliant. I love it, Manuel. Yeah, brilliant.
It's, as you say, it very much fits his style of play.
Yeah,
He will be very, very careful. He will have a strategy. He'll have a plan.
yeah.
And I think that might play against him a little bit with the clocks on.
Mm.
So,
But he is
if
used
you,
to it because he travels to Spain a lot to play in the
well,
Spanish
he
tournaments.
is,
Yeah,
he is. But for me, if I'm playing him, I'm trying to do things that he's not used to seeing,
yeah,
because I know he
yeah,
will stop and try and adjust to it, because he's
yeah,
a great player,
yeah.
and he won't just let you do what you want to do. He will be thinking, right, how do I stop that?
Mm.
And that starts burning minutes.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
can maybe put a little bit of pressure there.
yeah.
But
It's one of the
he's seen
things, and
everything.
I'm not trying to help people playing Manuel, but I played
I
against
will. They
Manuel
need it.
a
They
bunch of
need help
times.
against him.
And
I need it.
I played against Manuel a bunch of times, and you can actually see him sometimes getting flustered on time, because when he has to deal with new stuff, he will start to think, and I can feel him thinking when I'm playing across from him. How do I do this? Because he's so much of a chess player. He needs to have a plan, a couple of moves ahead, and that can be difficult if you're playing against someone who does something unexpected, right? I also think that one of the weaknesses of Manuel and Manuel's lists quite often is that his units are quite weak, and if you can take them off in one go and he starts losing order dice, then it can really escalate for him. However, it's Manuel, so taking those order dice is really difficult.
Yes, he's very good. He understands when to go down in a way that
Yeah.
some players don't. He's very willing to sacrifice and just go, no, you're not killing it. And that's because he's got a plan in place. And he's not only got a plan, let's be honest, he's got a plan B,
Yeah.
and he's also probably got a plan C. And you can see that in the way he plays.
Yeah.
So,
And finally, for today, the final player is August Tadeo, who is an American based in Germany.
yes,
I think he's half German as well.
I can't attest to that. I'm not certain, but
Yeah.
but it wouldn't surprise me. What I do know is he knows how to handle tanks. Let's put it
Oh,
that
yeah.
way. And it's fantastic. The list he's built. It's probably my favourite list of all the ones here, because it's so different. Um, and someone will say, how can you build a tank list that's different? Everyone's got tanks. Well, yeah. What he's got the
I'm
German
just
list again.
looking for the list. There we go.
Okay, so it's a German list again, 19 dice, and with a company CO, so he can snap to action. He's got a rifle platoon and then an armor platoon. It's only 2 platoons, but 19 dice. Well, how can you do that? How do you get 19 dice into 2 platoons? What you do is you give everyone a transport. and
So he's mechanizing
fielding-
everything, right?
Yeah.
And Feldgendarmerie everywhere. Pistol-armed Feldgendarmerie, 4 men.
Yeah. Or in his list, there's pistol-armed third gendarmerie. They're drivers, because he's got his 5. I think it's 5 tanks,
Yeah.
all with specific roles. They're all different. He's thought out how he wants to use them. He's even got Sig 33. He's got a Hanomag with a light anti-tank gun, a Panzer 1, a Marder 2, really real mix of tanks.
Yeah,
And then he's got
250
seven.
10, a Panzer 1 SIG with a heavy howitzer, Panzer 1 Auf C, which has an experimental. I like the experimental gun, the squeeze ball there. That's a nice one. The Marder 2, a Packwagen as well. I mean, and then all those 250/1s coming at you at the same time. Everything is just one.
So it's seven, if I've got this right, seven Hanomags.
Yep.
Which means, because he's got 5 tanks, every single unit has got its own personal Hanomag. so he's, I'm assuming he just puts one
before
unit in
the
each of them.
FAQ that killed those, this would have been terrifying. Now it's just a really cool, frightening list. But before when you can take them with double machine guns, that was terrifying. This is
what the plots are, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But what it can do, I tell you one FAQ that has made it amazing.
yeah.
He can capture objectives without getting out of the vehicles.
He can. He does.
He's
He's going to
FAQ
sit in those
clarified
vehicles, and
that.
he's not going to get charged because most of the enemy units that we've seen so far, they're not units that will assault a vehicle.
So you know what? This isn't really a 19 order dice list, is it?
No.
It's a 12 order dice list.
Yeah, but he
Because-
can. But because he has all those Feldgendarmers with pistols, they're never leaving those vehicles.
not leaving.
Never ever leaving. They're going to sit there, and he can go down, which means that he can control the flow of when he needs
and
to
he's
go
got
or
a
not.
company commander
Yeah.
to help him control the flow.
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant. I love this list. I understand why you're so fond of it.
I love it, but there are certain lists. Like again, if you think of Johnny Cohen's list, Johnny is just going to charge every single one of those Hanomags he
Yes.
can.
Yep.
And then they're going to have to. Then the Ferritin dummy will have to get out, and they're not going to have a very nice experience.
No, they're gonna die. They're gonna die.
But it's going to be amazing to see it on the table.
Yeah.
And, what great fun he's going to have. So that's maybe my favourite list.
That is a
I wanna go and try
proper.
one.
Oh
But as
man,
soon as
that
I
is
saw
a
it,
cool
I was
list.
like, I want to build one, see if I can make it work.
Yeah. 12 armored fighting vehicles in one list. Oh man.
Beautiful.
August, you are a madman. I love that one. That is so cool. Right. Russell, that's it. We've reached the end of the lists
That's
for
it
today.
for now. Yeah.
For now.
As soon as we get the other lists, maybe when we get the others, we can do a little bit of a summary on what's actually being brought.
Yep.
But just at the moment, what we're seeing is, if I just bring it up, is we have we have 2 British lists, 1 Japanese, 1 German. Oh, sorry, 1 German. 2 British lists, 1 Japanese, 1 Hungarian, 1 Soviet, and then it's about 7 German lists.
Yeah.
I don't expect that pattern to change. I think we're looking at over 50% Germany here.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting in terms of
Yeah.
what the best players want? Well, some of the best players want to bring.
Yeah. 50% of the top players think Germany is the way to go, and I sort of agree. Right. But we'll talk about all of that later on, and it's going to be really interesting once we get the actual results from this event. Thank you so much for coming on, Russell,
That's been a
and
pleasure.
we will talk once we have the rest of the lists. That's it from
Excellent.
us today, and we will see you next time. Cheers.